things that I knew I wasn't passionate about, I did not like doing, and I wasn't even good at. It's Chelsea K, right? And welcome back to my channel, a place where I give young adults and college students tips and tricks on how to find their passion, build their brand, and get that bread. And this video is about 3 to 5 tips how to really slay internship season and what I really did to land a really good internship for the summer. So if you want to hear these tips, stay tuned for more. So the first tip I have for you guys is to ensure that you are real with yourself and take a valid account of your strengths, weaknesses, and your interests. I say this because I personally applied for many jobs and even gotten interviews for things that I knew I wasn't passionate about, I did not like doing, and I wasn't even good at, and I wasn't even studying at school. So like coding and analytics, and that was just something that was completely wrong to do because I wasn't good at them and I was not going to put my all into it. Be real with yourself, scroll through LinkedIn, Google, do some research to find out what you're really passionate about, or if you're not passionate about, things you're at least interested in, and talk to people to find out what they do in the day-to-day actions and like their day-to-day lives in that position, to find out like if that's something you really want to do, because newsflash, no one likes to do work that they're not good at. So do some research before you start applying. My second tip for you guys is to start early. So once you've been real with yourself and you have your eye on a few different spots at different companies, you want to make a note of the ones that you really want and when their application opens, and you want to get a gist of like when they start their recruitment process, because a lot of these top companies will start their processes as early as say September. I know I had my interviews in October. I had an offer by the end of October, early November. So you want to start as early as possible. I know that it does stretch from about September till about March, but you wouldn't want to chance not getting an internship because you waited too late to start researching and reaching out and applying. So you want to start as early as possible. My third tip for you guys is to stay organized. Like, stay organized, because it gets really hard. I tell you, speaking from experience, it gets really hard to keep track of 15 to 20 jobs if you're applying for that much. What I did was keep a spreadsheet that I'll insert, and probably I'll leave the link down below for you guys. And I had a spreadsheet of everything, or all the companies that I wanted to apply to, and I had them set up into different parts. So I had reach jobs, dream jobs, my medium jobs, and my safe jobs. And I had columns that had the interview or the application link, the due date to when the application either opened or ended or closed, and any kind of like notes. And then I even went as far as to have like a section for different persons I spoke to at that specific company. And I just went through continuously and changed the status from like application or from looking to apply to interviewed, and if I was lucky, you know, got an offer. And it's just really, it's really gratifying to like just have that there so you can see where you're coming from, and just stay organized. It really takes the stress away from the process, and believe me, it is stressful. My fourth tip for you guys is to network and build relationships. You know, they say your net worth is your network, and baby girl, baby boy, it's true. Point blank period. It's true. Because if you haven't seen in my last video, it's linked somewhere, I received an offer from Microsoft that I accepted, and I put in a lot of work to you know, get an interview and an offer, and a lot of that I owe to the relationships that I had and built through LinkedIn and through some of the other techniques and networking techniques that I'm going to talk about later. But you definitely want to be building your network. Like, if you're in college and not using LinkedIn or not building your network, like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, you need to be building your network. LinkedIn is my best friend, and it should be yours too, because it just exposes you to like so much. And because we're in a virtual world now due to COVID, people, like, that's how people are meeting different people. And people aren't opposed to jumping on like a 15-minute coffee chat, that I would say, like a 15-minute virtual coffee chat, just to introduce you, or just to introduce themselves to you and like get to know you. And trust me, it has worked wonders for me, just hopping on a call and like just being a real person, not trying to get anything but like understanding, like a mutual understanding out of it. Not being too pushy or just like straight out asking for stuff, just like genuinely wanting to be in the person's like network and just really wanting to build a genuine relationship with them. Like, that is something that worked for me while using LinkedIn. I would say a cheat code to meeting and finding people on LinkedIn is to, one, go through your alumni network to see who has worked at your school or worked at the company you're trying to get into and is an alumni from your school. Or two, just through common interests. So if you find someone who works at like a company, take a couple minutes, take 5 to 10 minutes to look through their LinkedIn profile and to see what common interests you have, and if you're actually interested to talk to them. And then after you do that, you send them a personal invite, just asking to learn more about their experience. And more often than not, people respond and are willing to hop on that call. So you want to just take the risk and build relationships, because that's the only way you will build a network that will really stand and be there for you. I would say the experience I've had on networking calls where I have just said, hey, I'm looking to get into this company, Microsoft. I would love to learn more about your experience and the role, and like a day in the life of your role. And then I end the call saying that, hey, I applied, or I'm looking to apply. What would you do if you were in my position? And usually what has worked is like people end up like linking me to different people, or even end up like giving me a referral like afterwards, after like doing their research into me as well, or like after a couple conversations. But I cannot stress how important it is to use LinkedIn or any other tool that you think of, but LinkedIn is the best to network and build your relationships, because they matter and they will get you places. Another tip I have for you guys, and it's on the topic of building your network and using LinkedIn and stuff, is to go to the virtual events that these companies are having for university recruitment. It might not be something you're interested in or topics that you're interested in, but it is a great way to meet new people, meet people who are applying, so they're possible people that you can prep with, and just overall learn more about the role or just the company and company culture in general. Like, this is something that I did. Like, I feel like I attended every university event that Microsoft hosted, and it was successful because from each event I learned more about their culture, what they stood for, their values, and like the type of people that worked there, and if I would be a better fit. So you want to be like stalking them on social media and just like everywhere digitally. Like, that's what you want to be doing. If we're completely honest, like, that's what you want to be doing. So I can't stress it enough. Attend their virtual recruitment events. Another tip I have for you guys is on the topic of like communities. You want to seek out communities in the field that you are interested in going to. So I'm a part of this wonderful community called Tech Pod, which is to help college students break into the business side of tech. And that kind of like resonated with me because I wanted to be in tech, but I didn't want to be on the very technical side of tech. So I followed them and attended a few of their webinars, and it really, really helped to kind of like solidify the route or like the path that I was going on. And they had a lot of great tips and tricks and just like a great community of people for me to really prep with for interviews and everything else. So communities like this of college students or younger professionals or early career professionals exist on LinkedIn, and you literally can find them by just doing a group search on LinkedIn or like a Google search, and they should pop up. They range from design, product management, HR, tech, you name it, it's there, and you want to seek these out, as well as group chats, because they are like the people who are prepping for interviews just like you are, and they're usually willing to help, because I was able to do a few mock interviews with people who were interviewing for the same roles that I was. I want to say my final tip is to be confident, guys. After you've done your research and you've done everything in your control, just know that whatever is meant for you will not pass you by. Be confident, guys, be authentic, and be passionate, and know your stuff. Know that you are worth more than, you know, what some HR or recruiter says about you, and you are worth it. You deserve the job, and that position is yours, and you should go into the interview already feeling like you have gotten the job. Practice makes perfect, so you want to ensure that you're practicing your technical questions, and you're practicing your behavioral cases and your behavioral interviews. Practice. Know yourself and just be confident. That's something that worked for me. It did take practice for me to feel confident in what I was talking about in relation to the company, but I can assure you it really does set you apart when you know your stuff, you know you're valuable, and you know what you bring to the table. That's something that people, or like just recruiters in general, like to see, and it's something that sets you apart. So that is what I'm gonna end this video on, guys. Let me know if you enjoy these tips. I really do enjoy making these for you guys, so comment down below one thing that really stood out for you, and follow me on LinkedIn, Chelsea Wright, and on Instagram, and subscribe to the channel. That's it for the video, guys. Bye.